My name's Davvy Chappy, and today I'm going to be taking a look at and giving my opinion on the personal top 10 favorite various subclasses presented in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Now, I want to preface this by saying that Xanathar's Guide is not just a subclass book. It introduces a number of pretty awesome race-specific feats, and it has a huge, in-depth guide for generating a completely random character from scratch. It has expanded rules for traps, downtime, and tools, all of which make me, as a DM, much more interested in actually using those features, because, like, seriously, come on. Who was using tools before this book, aside from, you know, thieves' tools? And it features a bunch of new spells and magic items that just bring a breath of fresh air to people who have been playing 5e non-stop, like me. Point is, I would highly recommend buying Xanathar's Guide if you're looking for an expansion on the rules provided by the Player's Handbook or the DM Guide. Okay, with that out of the way, let's make like Watch Mojo and do a needless top 10 list, starting with number 10. Okay, remember how the Ranger is a useless class and how the only reasons why people even want to play it is because it's got magic and a bow? Well, now there's even less of a reason to play the Ranger, because the Arcane Archer archetype for the fighter has got you covered. The long and the short of it is that it's a bowman that infuses magic into their arrows, and the arrows have different effects depending on which type of magic you use. Evocation turns the arrow into an impact grenade, Conjuration makes vines grow out of wherever the arrow hits, Abjuration makes people fuck off to a different dimension, and so on. There's not much else to say about the subclass outside of guy with magic arrows, but I think that Wizards did the absolute most with what they could, and I'm happy with the result. For some reason, people always get weird when you talk about a fighter having a bow and arrow, but I'm hoping that this archetype will influence more people to try it out. So part of the reason why I enjoy the next subclass is because when you think about it, it's just so goddamn stupid. Here we have a Paladin of Redemption, a subclass that literally beats you over the head with pacifism and good vibes, and a third of its abilities are, if someone does a naughty, kill them with your own happiness energy. This thing will not only beat you up, but it will punish anyone else who decides to fight back, either directly or indirectly, because the Redemption Paladin is the absolute be-all, end-all of shields and heals. It will prevent its friends from taking damage while they go out of their way stabbing and incinerating everything in their path, and it'll just stand over somebody else and beat them up until they say sorry. Seriously, man. Don't fuck with Redemption. Non-violence kills. And speaking of things that are hilariously stupid, it's actually hilariously stupid how awesome the Forge domain for the Cleric is. Like, you would expect a guy that just makes shit and spends most of his time being a martial artificer with a Sword of Fire aesthetic going on, but instead what you get is, well, that's actually pretty much exactly what you get. But you also get a huge fuck-off hammer. No, seriously, the Forge domain is crazy tanky, and it'll steamroll anything that gets in its way. Plus, now it can add fire damage to its attacks, meaning that the aforementioned huge fuck-off hammer is now a huge fucking fire fuck-off hammer. And it's on fire. Fuck. Up next at number 7, we got what would be the Oath of Redemption Paladin if the Paladin was a barbarian and, like all barbarians, did not care for being peaceful. I'm talking about the Path of the Ancestral Guardian, which does a lot of the same things as Redemption, but in different ways. See, the Ancestral Guardian Barbarian has a bunch of old ghost ancestors that float around it all the time, telling it how good things were back in their old days, complaining about kids on their lawn, and, oh yeah, flying around the battlefield, scaring the shit out of people. These things protect allies, distract enemies, and just generally make people wonder what in the world a barbarian actually is that it has access to so much crazy nonsensical nonsense. Seriously, every time I talk about barbarians, I get scared, because I think that they might get so angry that they gain sentience and leap out of the computer to attack me. Yeah, you laugh. You think I'm going crazy. But then explain why the hell barbarians can summon Casper the Friendly Ghost to aid them in battle. Anyway, moving on to number 6, we have my favorite class, the Bard, and its new archetype, the College of Whispers. Tell me, who would win in a fight? A politician with a bounty on his head who just happened to pass by a street performer on the way to a meeting, or one bardy boy? The College of Whispers is absolutely perfect for people who really want to put the spy into espionage. Hehe. And they're a fantastic alternative to assassins for people who want to be more sophisticated with their jobs, rather than just run in and get out quickly. They add psychic damage to their attacks, and they can talk to people for a minute to frighten them, and if they end up killing somebody, they can steal their shadow to impersonate that person. Seriously, if you're looking for a subclass that you can really sink your role-playing teeth into, the College of Shadows has you covered. Moving on to my top 5 favorites, this is where things start to get really cool. Or, in the case of number 5, really sunny. Ha! Ha! Okay, I'm talking about the Way of the Sun Soul Monk. You know what the monk has been missing from its repertoire of being one of the coolest, most anime martial classes in the entire game? Frickin' laser beams! The Sun Soul shoots out frickin' laser beams out of the palm of its hands like it's frickin' Goku doing the Kamehameha. Not only that, but it can shoot fire in a cone, and it'll eventually learn how to form that heat into a little ball and toss it at people so that it explodes. Like, it's not overpowered or anything, but it's just really, really awesome to play. Seriously, man, there isn't much more satisfying than walking into a room full of bad guys and whipping out your Sunny D. Alright, okay, I have a confession to make. This is going to be really hard for me to say. I know that it might betray the trust of some of my more loyal viewers, but I believe in this strongly enough that I'm willing to stand by it even if my fan base leaves me. So, oh god, this is tough. I think that the Horizon Walker archetype for the Ranger is good. Like, really good. Especially for the Ranger, it's really, really good. Its fluff is delicious, turning you into a dimensional police officer, aka a space cop. Its mechanics complement the fluff, letting you detect the nearest portal in a mile, turning you ethereal, letting you teleport everywhere, and just in general being a really kick-ass subclass. Like, just to give you the scope of how much I like this archetype, this is the first time that I've talked this long about anything positive about the Ranger, and the icing on the cake is that they even give notes on playing the Horizon Walker using the revised Ranger rules. Like, good job, guys, you did a good thing here. Good job.
Gloomstalker still sucks, though.
And now we're down to our top 3, and keeping with last pick's theme of, Davvy, what the fuck are you doing? My next pick is the War Magic Wizard. Okay, I might not like the fact that they keep making so many wizards, but I do have to respect that whenever they do, it's a pretty good wizard. Like, the Unearthed Arcana wizards have been a bit hit or miss.
Looking at you, Artificer.
But the ones that are officially released always feel like they deserve to be released. In that same vein, the War Wizard is the only wizard archetype for Xanathar's Guide, so I can't even be miffed that they put too much focus on the wizard. And speaking of the War Wizard, it just feels cool to play. It mixes elements from the Evoker and the Abjuration school of magic to create a mage that can actually survive in a fight when pressure is put on it. In addition to that, Xanathar's Guide comes with a pretty big list of new spells, so now spellcasters get new archetypes and a bunch of new gimmicks to work with.
Especially the—
Nope, not gonna do it this time. This is a good moment. Only taking good things out of this. Alright, so I've been playing the UA version of number 2 since it first showed up in Gothic Heroes, and I'm just completely psyched that it's been officialized, because role-playing wise, it is definitely my all-time favorite subclass, and that subclass is the Inquisitive archetype for the Rogue. Oh my god, where do I even begin? Basically, you mix Sherlock Holmes with Robin Hood to get a hard-boiled investigator that can study people to gain an advantage over them, it gains a passive insight so it can tell when people are lying just by hearing them, and so many other really cool things that make me feel like a badass private eye, even when I truly have no idea what I'm doing. I cannot sing the praises of the subclass enough. In terms of sheer fluffiness, the Inquisitive wins. It just wins. God, I love this thing. And that brings us to the final subclass, the moment you've been waiting for. What's it gonna be? What's Davvy's all-time favorite archetype presented in Xanathar's Guide to Everything? Without further ado, my number 1 favorite subclass is the College of Glamour Bard! Yeah, of course it was gonna be Bard. Bards are my favorite class to play. I love Bards, and I can hear people saying, but Davvy, you already had a Bard subclass at number 6. Yeah, well, to that I say, fuck you, it's my list. But honestly, I don't think I need to explain why the Glamour Bard is my favorite. Anybody who knows me, or even just watches my videos for long enough, will know that if someone were to describe me as a D&D character, a Feywild Bard that can mind control everybody and dominate the battlefield with nothing but his own diva complex is absolutely perfect casting. Yeah, not everybody will find the Glamour Bard to be their top number 1 pick, but you just gotta remember that D&D is, at its core, made to be personalized around you, the player. Don't watch my top 10 video expecting me to tell you what's mechanically superior to everything else, because I'm not gonna. That's not the point of the game. The point is to create a character that you think is cool because it can do or say or believe in cool things, and that coolness is all that matters. Oh, you can do 4d12 damage on a crit? Well, fuck you, I've got disco fever. Check out my social media in the description. Davvy out.